Yeah. We like to welcome everybody to the Stay Talking Ish podcast show. This is your host, Mr. Barksdale.
This is Gus, the technical genius.
Yeah, technical genius. You notice how this dude change up like every month. Like once before it was like he was on the ones and twos. Now he's the technical genius.
Yeah, if cats can change their gender like every other day, I can change my title.
Yeah, you can. I mean, listen, man, it's a free world. And we are part of the free world. Mm-hmm. So, Gus, man, you know, I was thinking about we adult men nowadays, but, you know, you start reflecting on your own life when you was younger.
That's because you got them gray hairs in your beard.
Oh, word is born, but stop ratting, dog. You know, I'll be putting this Beijing in my shit so I could, you know what I mean, be out here flirty, like, you know what I mean? But, you know, so I'm thinking like, Gus, like, if we had to look back on our lives, and even the people listening, if you had to look back on your life, like, what type of advice would you give the 14, 15, 16-year-old Gus? You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of advice would I give the 15, 16-year-old Barksdale? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ever thought about that, Gus?
I've thought about it quite a few times. Sometimes I wish I had the wisdom I had now.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah. I wish I had the work ethic back then that I do right now. Like, if I could go back and give myself some advice, like just about education in school, my freshman and sophomore year and my second sophomore year, I guess I'd have told myself to work harder, like, you know what I'm saying?
I would have told myself that I was trying to do too much. First college years, man, I was trying to work full time.
Yeah.
Trying to go to school full time.
And then chase hoes full time.
I was trying to chase hoes full time.
That's like 80 over 80 over 80.
I was trying to make side money. Like I was like not sleeping.
Yeah.
There was one thing though that my pop told me, and I ain't listened to it. He said, man, do what you gotta do now. Worry about them chicks later.
Yep. Now I was a freshman in like high school and shit like that. If I could advise myself, I told myself, try to get your mind off the bullshit and the constraints that you living in. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody that listen to our podcast show consistently, you know, y'all know that I usually talk about, you know, growing up with my moms, and I grew up with my mom's battling addiction. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of stressed me out. It's a different feeling, you know, you going to school and dudes around the way who sell dope is coming to school, and they know you and they know your moms, and they know your moms is buying dope from them, and you know, people didn't have a lot of discretion back then, so it's like, you know, you in the school and everybody know your moms get high, and you dealing with that type of ridicule, and you fighting every day, and you don't want to go to school. And you know, if I could have talked to young Barksdale, I'd been like, Barks, man, let's just come to school and get the money. You know what I mean? Get the money. These grades is the money. We get in and out. You know, just dealing with those things, it affected my ability to be a productive student early in my education. And then growing up poor, you making bad decisions like going out in the streets and wanting to be a drug dealer and do the things that people doing in the neighborhood, and then it put you in bad situations. So I think those are the things that, you know, education wise, I would have wanted to just give myself some better advice on how to handle those things as a young adult. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think once I did decide to go to college, I was an older student, so my focus and my mental fortitude was a little bit different than I was able to just focus on what I came to school for. So, you know.
Shit, I agree. I dropped out the first time I went to college. It's not cool at all.
I mean, college ain't for everybody. College is for everybody, but you know, I think it's a little bit different when you in a baccalaureate program, whether it's a campus or whether it's a community college with a baccalaureate program. You going to school and you got a lot of different freedoms that you might not have had before you got there. You know what I'm saying? And you get there and you get caught up in the social aspect. You get caught up in the, you know, when you in high school, you don't go to class, they calling home. And you in college, you don't go to class. They like, he missed 2 more. We giving him this cool F.
Well, my problem is when I didn't go to class in high school, I still got like A, B, C at the worst. Mm-hmm. In college, you don't go to class, fails, or you got to withdraw.
You know, when I think back to my college days, if I had to give that Barksdale some advice, I'd have told that Barksdale to go to class more. Barksdale graduated from college, an honor student, but Barksdale could have easily graduated with a 4.0 in college if he went to class more and like didn't take a lot of shit for granted. Like I used to get up and be like, I got a 9:30 class, I'll get there on time or whatever. But then on Fridays, I just be like, I'm not going to this class on Fridays. You can forget about it. Like Monday, Wednesday, I'll step in there, but Friday you could chalk it. You know what I mean? And when you got an A in the class, you know, and you miss enough class, the teacher will give you a B and be like, the only reason why you ain't get an A is because you missed my class a lot. And then I used to be like, well, I got 5 Bs. I passed every class. I'm solid. You know what I'm saying? And I got to do what I want. But if I had to talk to that Barksdale, I'd be like, Barksdale, you went to class a little bit more. That would have been all A's. And then, you know, who knows where life takes you when you're the valedictorian of your graduating class. Like, you know what I mean?
See, my problem is I smoke too much weed.
Yeah.
See, and it's not necessarily the weed. It's the weed kind of dulls the bad decisions you make. So it'd be like, yo, man, I ain't going to class. F that. And the weed be like, yeah, that's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
The weed will tell you like, yo,
ain't nothing wrong.
This class is bullshit. I ain't going to this class. The weed will be like, you know what? You're right. There's no need for us to go there. We only need to show up when we show up.
Like literally, like there was times that I sat in the lounge and didn't go to class. You know, if I was in my right state of mind, I would be like, well, since I'm here,
I might as well go to class since I drove all the way out here. Yeah, I mean, trust me, I understand. Because, you know, when you live on a college campus in the wintertime, you ain't got no problem going to class on a Friday. But as soon as the spring hit and the little chicks in the dorms start coming outside a little bit half naked, like, you like, yo, it's Friday. All these chicks is out around the damn student center. There's no way I'm walking off to go to class, bro. I'm going to post up right here and enjoy the day.
Spring again.
Yeah,
Everybody knows
yeah. And then the wild shit is, you ain't even really never want to holler at none of the little chicks because you seen them all take the walk of shame in the mornings. You seen them all climb through the windows and sneak in the dorms. So you already know what type time they was on, but it was like, yo, just the sights, and you like, yeah, man, this is a great day. The jump offs is out. There's no way I'm walking to class today.
Well, it's because springtime was like draft time.
Yeah.
You know, same time that, you know, I guess it's a little bit earlier than the NBA draft, but it's the same way. It's, you know, your roster a little off, you know. It's time to restock. I mean, it's time to grab a few new numbers.
Yeah, it's definitely time to expand your network.
Because even though you seen these chicks climbing through the windows, you know, another man's trash
is another man's treasure. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you know, it's like J.R. Smith. You know what I mean? He looked good when he was on the Knicks. You know what I mean?
Yes, he did.
Now that, you know, we in the finals with the Cavs, we getting like 5 points.
I mean, listen, man, at the end of the day, I look at it like this. Like, sometimes you make the decisions because that's what the time looks, that's what it's hitting for. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, just with the whole school situation, man, if I had to advise younger Barksdale, that's the advice I would have gave him. Like, let's work a little bit harder. Let's go to class a little bit more. We on the road to chasing the goal, but let's just run a little bit faster. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that education wise and school wise, that's what I'd have told myself. Like, you know what I mean? What about you, Gus?
I mean, as far as education wise, like I said, man, I would just did more, man. I mean, my thing was, I should have just hunkered down for them 4 years, especially when I went to college. Just hunkered down and not try to do so much. You know what I mean? So whether it was, if I was going to mess around with the chicks, just go to school and mess around with the chicks. You know what I mean? But I wanted to go to school, mess around with the chicks. You know what I mean? Hang out with my homies. You know what I mean? Party. Not only have a main chick, have a side chick. It was just too much.
You know what I mean? And a side chick and a side chick and a side chick. I mean, that's how it be.
Hopefully the side chick got a side chick.
yeah. Hopefully your side chick got a side chick that like side chicks. And then you expand. It's like a pyramid scheme. You know what I mean? Like,
see, that's the problem. Honestly, that was my problem. When I went to school, I found side chicks that had side chicks. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, at that age, it's like, as a young man, that's all you think about.
As a young man with freedoms, women change the game with those freedoms.
And when you start asking for stuff and people start saying yes, it's like, huh?
Yeah. You almost like, I don't know about other people, like, but I'm gonna be honest, Gus. Like, I was the type of dude when I was like 16, 17, man. Chick come to the crib, give me some ass or something like that, yo. I'll go to the bathroom and look at myself in the mirror like, yo, this bitch is a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Yo, like, and I guess that's the stuff that warped my own mind when it come to dealing with women. I'll admit, as a young dude, I probably had 0 to -10 respect for women that wasn't my relatives. Like, I could honestly say that. Like, a chick do some old wild shit for me. In the back of my mind, I'm like, that's out in the open. I'm like, that's just dope. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, this bitch is a hoe, dog. She gotta be a hoe. You know what I mean? Not thinking to myself like, maybe she doing this for me because she into me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just a hoe. And
no, you could tell. Like,
no,
I mean, at that age, you could tell. You could tell, like, oh, you definitely done this
many moons before. You know what I'm saying? But then sometimes
you got a whole lot of practice.
Yeah, but then sometimes you just never know. Like, and I guess if I could go back to younger Barksdale, that's something I would talk to younger Barksdale too. Like, you can't look at all females the same. Don't lump them all in one basket, because the chick that you thought was a hoe might have just been really into you, and the chick that you thought was really into you was really just a hoe. Some people, I can admit, I used to have a hard time differentiating the two. So I just be like, they all hoes.
See, I didn't really think all girls was hoes.
Gus, you thought all chicks was hoes.
Nah, it was like any chick who gave me some ass when I first asked for it, I thought was a hoe. Like, if I asked you, because, that was usually like, the first couple times. I'm like, oh, you definitely a hoe.
Yeah.
Like, if you was a chick that was like, nah, I really don't go that way, or I'm really not going to do that, I don't feel comfortable,
I still thought she was a hoe. Like,
well, young Gus was like, well, she must be good. I mean,
for me, I thought she was a hoe, and maybe she was just giving me a hard time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how as when you young, you get caught up in the gossip. And I think we was talking about that shit before in the previous cast show, where you be like, dudes come to the Ave and they lying about chicks they done knocked off and shit like that. And you like, well, damn, if this dude hit, I know I can hit. Like, not even thinking that he lying. You know what I'm saying? So when you run down, you like, yo, like, what's popping? Like, you got to give me some ass. And she be like, no, I don't really get down like that. And then in the back of my mind, I be like, you a hoe. Like, my man just knocked you off. Like, stop it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not exposing my man. And so I'm like, yo, in my mind, I'm like, she just a hoe. She just bullshitting for me, because she, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever case may be. But then when it all come to fruition, it all come out in the open, homeboy was lying on his Johnson to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And you ran down on a chick like she was a hoe, and she probably was a respectful chick, and you just threw that whole opportunity out the window. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny, though, because I think about, I used to feel sad for him. I'd be like, damn, you really is a hoe.
Yo, I never really felt sad for
her. I'd be like, you must got some low self-esteem. I mean, I said that afterwards. I mean, I really didn't say it to them.
I always looked at hoes like like they was like fish in the pond. You know what I mean? Like nobody ever feels bad when they hook a fish and then gut the fish and then cook the fish and eat the fish and it be nourishment or meat or serving the purpose. So that's how I always looked at it. Like, all these hoes is just out here for me to throw my bait out here and let them bite the hook, and then I slaughter them, and then they add to my fish count.
I do gotta say one thing I learned, and yeah, young Gus, he kept to this rule.
Yeah,
don't have no kids. If I would give any advice, any young man in my presence, I do it now. I tell you, do not have no kids, because I've realized no matter what you do, how bad you mess up, if you don't have no kids, you can always recover.
You can always bounce back.
Like anybody will let you stay at their house. You know what I mean? Because it's only you.
You're not coming with baggage.
You ain't got no baby mom.
No.
Because, a lot of times, you know what I mean, dudes be having to lose their baby mom. So not only do they got to find a place for them, their baby mom got to come stay.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I would say, young Gus understood this, but I would tell any other young brothers right now, do not have no kids.
Me personally, after my mother passed, I lived a couple different places in life, and I came across a couple homies when we was like 16, 17, even younger than that. Dudes was having their first kids, and they didn't stop. They didn't stop. Like, I got a homie that got a 6-piece, and I got another person that we was cool that he got like a 4-piece or a nickel piece, and it all started at like 17, 16, 15. And if I had to go back and advise young Barksdale, I would actually pat Barksdale on the back, because Barksdale's pullout game was on a trillion. You know what I'm saying? Young Barksdale had a couple scares, you know what I'm saying, that ended up that was aborted or miscarried or whatever. But for the most part, young Barksdale was like Steph Curry with the shot, you know what I'm saying? When it came to pulling out, like the most pullouts in a season.
See, I think
you know what I'm saying?
I think one of the things about it, though, you got to mess with chicks that have aspirations in life. Like, you got to mess with chicks that don't want to mess up their future either. These dudes keep messing with these chicks that have no aspiration, nothing going for themselves.
Yeah.
So having a kid is actually not a bad thing.
It's an upgrade for them. They're like, well, I'm not shit anyway, so I guess if I had a kid, at least I'd be a mom.
I can get a check.
Yeah. Or
so someone, the sad part is someone
love them.
Unconditionally love them.
Yeah, unconditionally.
That's pretty
mom
sad.
dudes could be the craziest, most ratchet, but that kid will always be like, Mom, I love you. So I think when it comes to the women, also, I would tell young Barksdale, you know what I'm saying, like go harder too. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, you know how it be, the one chick that just she walking through the halls at the school, or she walked through the Ave, and word is born, she just got that glow, and you like, nah, every nigga in the hood going at her, like, I'm a fall back, because, like, who the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying?
And you could have bagged the chick yesterday.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, young Barksdale, you should have just went hard. Like, and then you find out years later, like, when you're 25, the chick that you could have went at when you was 15, 16, she was like really on your top too. Like, but you never said nothing. So every clown nigga around got the ass. And now you just knocking her off for the sake of saying, well, I need this on my count. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, just for my own mind to say I knocked it down, but you really wanted it when you was 16, 17. Like,
was it the homie Devin the Dude got a song that go, I fucked her because of what she used to look like.
No, but that's real shit. That's real shit. Like, sometimes you gotta double back. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I couldn't get you. You know, we was on a different time 10 years ago, but now we on the same time. I'll bust your ass and
look at your high school pictures.
And look at your high school picture. Like, damn, if your mouth was doing this 10 years ago, man, I should have been got you. Like, word is born. Like,
And if you in a group talking about it, you don't let the homies know it was like recently.
no. I'm the dude that's straightforward. Like, yo, remember so and so and so when we was like 15? And they be like, yeah.
Last week.
Yo, word is born. So I caught up in the little spot, ran down on her, and handled the handle. Niggas like, yo, son. I hit that chick when we was in high school. I'd be like, well, yeah, that high school pussy is a lot different now. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, man,
She old and depressed now.
yeah, she old. You know what I'm saying? All she got going
no
for her,
self-esteem.
you know what I'm saying, right now is all 3 cavities that she working synonymously. You know what I'm saying?
No morals now.
She had morals when y'all was 17. Right now, she's moralless, man. Word is born, like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Yo, it's sad, man.
It is sad. So I think the next thing, Gus, did you ever have any slip ups with the law, man, that hinders your quality of life these days, man?
Yo, man, I'll be honest with you, man. I haven't, man. I really think it's because my mom's because she had to be religious, man.
Yeah.
My family was praying. I have no idea how I slipped through a lot of stuff I did. I mean, I think part of it was because I always had a job. I always had a job, and I was always messing with the chicks. So every time like real bad stuff happened, I was either at work or at some chick crib.
Yeah.
I come back, it was like
It's a whole story.
I mean, I come back, like homies got shot at, and I be like, I'm with these dudes all the time.
Why
Homie get shot, I'm at the chick.
Yeah, you feeling some type of way because you not a part of that story.
So I ain't never get into no legal trouble. I mean, honestly, when I was doing my stuff, you know what I mean, doing stuff here and there, usually I had to make a decision. Like either I'm gonna go and handle this business with this street stuff, or I'm gonna just take my ass to work.
Yeah.
Because I can't do one or the other.
Yeah, you can't have one foot in and one foot out.
So it was kind of like, all right, man, I'm out. Because because cats getting mad at you because they like, yo, man, how you supposed to be holding it down and you ain't around? I'm like, because I gotta go work.
I mean, my thing was, I'll say this: like the first time I was ever arrested, I was 14, man, and I got arrested in front of my mother. You know what I'm saying, on a dope block. And my mother cried when they put me in handcuffs and searched me. And they found like 3 bottles of rock on me. You know what I mean? And drove me off and shit. And then she came and picked me up. So that was tough. And then as I got older, just feeling like I needed to chase money on my own and, not trying to do it, thinking about it the legal way, attempting to do it the legal way. But I think about, I had a job and like, I'm like permanently banned for life forever working at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was young, I had to put somebody down and I was on the clock. And then his sister worked there and she tried to jump in and I put her down too. You know what I'm saying? So that all went bad. So if I was ever down on my luck, I could never work at McDonald's again. Got a couple things on my background. If I could go back in school, younger Barksdale, I don't know. I don't really regret the decisions, but I guess I'd have told Barksdale to pay attention to his surroundings more. I'm like one of those dudes where I got stuff on my jacket, and one thing on my jacket came from me just being a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my mans had gotten to something, and he was a 2-timer, and he got booked on the case and I hadn't, and they was about the roofing. They was about the hashtag roofing on that 3rd F. And you know what I'm saying? At the time my jacket was clean and I stepped up and I took the whole F for him. I took the whole case and they let him go. You know what I'm saying? And at the time I felt like it was like the noble thing to do as a street nigga. But now, even though I'm a college graduate and shit like that, I go for jobs and I look for jobs. And I got certain shit on my jacket that people be like, yo, you well qualified for this position, but you got this on your jacket. We can't hire you because you got this on your jacket. And so then I had other situations where I thought niggas was the homies. You know what I'm saying? And we out here doing whatever, and niggas get jealous and niggas feel some type of way. And next thing you know, niggas pointing you out in pictures and putting the law onto your will, putting the law onto your movements. You know what I mean? You getting caught up, and you ain't even knowing how you getting caught up until you sit down, and then you really starting to you ain't got nothing but time, so you calculating your moves every day. You calculating your moves as to what led you to this situation, and you like, yo, it had to be that. It couldn't have been nothing else but niggas that I thought was the homies putting the law onto me. Know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, that was another thing, I didn't like. As soon as you start bubbling a little bit, cats be having plans on your shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
When you ain't got much, it's all good. But as soon as you start getting a little something, cats be like, yo, we can do this. It's like, yo, man, I got the hook up. I'm trying to do my little thing, keep it on the low.
Yeah.
Now you trying to blow up the spot. You want
to get involved, and you don't got no type of movements about you. You about to get the whole operation jammed before it ever got off the ground. So I definitely, if I could go back to younger Barksdale, I told younger Barksdale, if you going to play these corners, rookie, you know what I'm saying, or you going to play these corners, youngin', pay attention to faces, pay attention to conversations, pay attention to the way people move and the way people say things and the handshakes you get. You know what I'm saying? Because when you young and you getting it, sometimes you don't pay attention to that. But when you older, you know what I'm saying? We both working dudes now. Gus, you know what I'm saying? You go into a new job and people giving you the funny handshakes and conversations stop when you walk by and shit like that. You starting to understand like these dudes is intimidated by what you bring to the table, and they know you have the potential to bump them out of spots or make it so they don't eat or make it so they job harder. And when you young, you don't really pay attention to that on the corners. You ain't paying attention to when you getting all the money. That mean everybody else who come out with their work every day ain't getting no money. So then that shit leads to either somebody putting the stick-up boys on you or somebody putting the law on you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But then you still coming out and eating amongst the wolves anyway. So I'd have told young Barksdale, you was a smart young nigga, but you need to pay attention a little bit more out here, because these mistakes that you make now, they don't never leave your jacket.
I would tell any young boy like that, look at these, look at the old heads, you know what I mean? Look at a lot of these old heads that's like twice your age, got like 10, 15 years on you.
Yeah.
Like, look at these dudes, man. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of these dudes ain't got nothing more than what the working dude got. They might got a little nicer car, you know what I mean?
Nicer clothes.
You know what I mean? Might have a couple chains. But when it come down to it, these dudes don't got much more than your average working cat.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when I was working in my early 20s, one of my things was these dudes that sell dope, they ain't got much more than what I got. You know what I mean?
So why even take the risk?
Yes, they can blow a little bit more money in the club on the weekend. You know what I mean? They got a couple more pairs of kicks than me.
They got a couple more bitches because they got a little bit more time. Like, wherever you working at, you could bag chicks, but it's a little bit different when you work in the streets where the chicks is hanging out at. They got more access to the chicks than you. You know what I'm saying?
But really, look at these dudes. Do they really got properties? Mm-hmm. Do these dudes got anything more than your average? Like, these dudes is living at home with moms too. Mm-hmm. Like, like I swear, I gotta talk to some cats from New York, because this whole living in the projects where you got a whole bunch of money thing really confuses me.
I mean,
I know that's where the money's at.
Now that I'm older, I understand that it's expensive as shit to live in New York. So you could be in New York getting a couple dollars. You could be getting a whole bunch of money. But if you don't want to be hustling just to pay rent, you better stay in them projects. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand that. I think the next thing I would want to talk to young Barksdale about, and maybe you, and I don't know if you feel the same about young Gus, but I definitely would want to talk about doing your best to be you.
I definitely agree with that.
Like, I remember a couple fights I got in, couple situations I got in, couple females I disrespected, couple teachers I disrespected, was all for the show. You know how it is. Like you in the class, you one of the funny niggas in the class, or you one of the cooler kids in the class, or cooler kids in the school. Period. It's almost like you feeling like you gotta live up to the reputation, like your reputation is preceding you. You understand what I'm saying? And you get in these classrooms, and now you want to disrupt the classroom because it's expected for you to disrupt the classroom. You know what I'm saying? It's expected for you to be loud in the hallways. It's expected for you to always be on go with the fight. It's expected for you to always try to be up in some chick face, or always want to have like the baddest chick on your arm. But then when I realize it, when I think back to it, I be like, was that really young Barksdale? When I really think about young Barksdale as a young man, like, all I ever really wanted to do with my life was, real shit, I ain't really have no plan for my life. So it was easy to, I just knew that I grew up in the streets. I always thought it was cool to stand on the corners and be in the hood. I never really wanted my name attached to too much spectacle, but the attention was always good. And then you get older and you be like, nigga, all that attention was bad. All that bullshit you did to bring a light onto yourself was bad. And if you stayed under the radar, you probably would have got a lot further. So, guys, I think the overall moral of this whole story is, even for the people that's listening, and give us some feedback in the comments and shit. What things have you done as a youngin' that you wish you could take back? You know what I mean? Or you wish you could go back and, just coach yourself as a younger person and be like, yo, don't do that. Or yo, watch out for that. Or yo, stay away from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some of the stuff was fun. Some of the wrong things I would probably still do.
Some of them I probably would too, but if I could coach myself, I'd be like, yo, this gonna go that way. So when you do this, be prepared for this. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So,
right,
I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I hope y'all got as much laughter out of it as we did. And I hope that you guys give us some feedback. Definitely give us some likes. Check us out on Stay Talking Ish on SoundCloud, Stay Talking Ish on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, StayTalkingIsh.com. You know what I mean? Support our podcast show. We appreciate all the love we've been getting. And you know what I'm saying? We holler back at y'all with the next show.
Peace.
Peace.